Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. We're all starting fresh into the new year with fresh energy, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday and that you're ready to jump in with us here today as we create something new as we all gather together. And I see that you're already coming into the room, and it's such a wonderful feeling to know that through our time together, we're going to be connecting with all of your animals. In fact, if you're here, if you are guided by your animal, 100%, there's no question. So as you come into the room, just make sure you're settled and fresh and relaxed. And Susan, Happy New Year to you too. It's such a wonderful thing to join our energy together, especially in the new year. It's so important as we, focus forward. Oh, hi, Carol. It's good to see you from Phoenix. I bet the weather's nice. The weather here, not that you need the weather report all the time, but it's nice today. We've got a little bit of a warm up. It's been really, really cold, so in the 60s, and it's so nice. So hopefully I'll get outside and enjoy the wildlife in the area, and I hope you can do as well. Happy New Year, Claire. Good evening from a very cold UK. Oh, sometimes cold is good. If it's a cold, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to be warmed up. So hopefully you're staying warm and enjoying some of the cold in the air. So as you come in, I want you to be thinking about connecting and how important that is on so many levels. And, with our animals, it's easy to connect with animals. It's very natural. We feel comfortable. We're not defended. They just put us at ease and help us feel whole. And when we get used to that kind of connection and then they pass, especially, it can oftentimes feel like they're completely gone. We've lost the connection. We don't know where to find it. And what we do together, especially, is, and what I teach and what I help people with, because it's what I've learned in my own life and what my animals have taught me, is we never can lose that connection ever. It's there forever. And it's up to us not to demand signs. It's really up to us to be willing to learn a different, more refined way of connecting. And we're going to be using that word a lot, connecting with them. Oh, hi, Julie. It's good to see you. My lab has been gone since 2015. I wonder if she is still around. And Julie, if you're here, absolutely. And that is a sign right there that you have shown up and, for whatever logical reasons, oh, I think I'm going to watch this, but definitely. And Julie, one of the things I've thought about and I'd love to talk about is it ever too late to receive a sign? Is it ever too late to hear from them? And I don't know if you've ever wondered that, like Julie has. Is it too late? And so we'll talk about that soon in another update and version of our gathering. So they're all here. All your babies are here. They're joining us. It's good to see you, Misty. Happy New Year from Stockholm. And Deanna, puppy snow day here. That's always fun. Animals usually really love the snow, except some of my little dogs that have really short hair. They just get like super cold and they just want to go outside, go back inside. So come on in the room and then talk to me. Tell me what connection means to you. Throw it up in the chat, like one word even. When you hear the word connection, what drops in? Because maybe we all have different ideas of what that looks like. I don't know. What has connection felt like to you? And, we're talking about animals, but really connection is connection. And it's easy to kind of overlook it because it's so natural. So let's try to put words to it. Marge, I know Isla is here. Her picture just came up when we were gathering here. Exactly. I love that. Yes, totally. Kathy. Yes, it's good to see. Kami's mom is here. I love that. Debbie says the heart felt full. I need movement to know she's with me. Tell me more. What do you mean by that? I need movement to know she's with me. So I'm curious. Take that a step further and let's dialogue on that a little bit. So connection is what? When have you felt connected? What did it feel like? And what's its opposite? What's its opposite? Oh, pumpkin pie forever, like that. A settled heart when in their presence. I love that. I love that. A settled heart. That's beautifully said. So, and Happy New Year to you. Everybody's jumping in. I love it. Everybody you're never late. You're never late. You come in at the right moment. And Claire says, connection is my ever present bond, a light between us. So, Claire, do you feel connection often during the day? Do you just carry it with you? I know you're saying ever present. Does it get activated more sometimes than others? Or is it like, I'm assuming you can feel it right now. And what about all of you? Can you feel the connection that we are building at this moment? Like we are literally doing this together. Marge, connection feels like warm fuzzies in me. Do you feel that now? Debbie says, sometimes I just feel I need more proof. So that's your mind. And I love that you have brought that up because I feel like it's something that our minds step in the way and we get kind of impatient with things. And what we want to do is stay in that open space of realizing that we don't, necessarily direct everything and we need to be in receiving mode. And if you like, I need more proof is actually a different frequency than I'm willing to be shown what I need to see and surprise me. So let's try shifting a little bit like with that as we go forward. I'm hearing warmth in my chest. It's a knowing of togetherness. And Nina's good to see you. I was looking at the sire of a puppy I might buy, and my dog who just passed flickered back and forth over the sire dog. And then the photo on my phone switched to my dog who passed. I love that. You weren't even looking for that, and it popped up. And that's another thing I want to talk about is, when we're looking, when we're really straining to look, like I've lost a book somewhere here and I've scoured and scoured. I've talked to the book. I've told it needs to show itself. But then it dawned on me, stop forcing it, Tami. It'll show up when it wants to. So I'm just here to say that all of us can slip into that kind of like, I know it's here. I'm going to find it. I know there's proof. I want to see a sign, whatever it is. So just remember when you do that, catch yourself and then back off a little bit. Just relax into, apparently the book is, in my case, doing something else at the moment. Deanna says, there are times the deepest feeling of connection is when I'm not expecting it, just appears. Isn't that sweet? That's like the best, because sometimes when we're trying so hard and then we do get a sign, we don't believe we've gotten one. It's better if you can just be in receptive mode all the time. And then you're pleasantly surprised and delighted. And that has a certain quality of connection. Definitely. Susan said, Jay gets impatient with me for always wanting signs when he is always giving them to me. Yes. And I think we get selective about what kind of signs we get. And really, the more relaxed you can be, it's like we've got this ingrained feeling, the harder we try, right? The harder we try, the harder we work, that it'll come. And actually the opposite. We can't force connection, or communication. We worry we're not going to do it correctly. And I'm here to tell you that you have all you need to connect with your pet in spirit in a very personal and intimate way to you. So they don't connect through effort. They connect through presence. So question, how many of you are present? Just pop it in the chat. I'd like to know if you're present or not. And if you aren't, try to get that way. It's a beautiful space to be in, and we don't often take time in the day. And that's what we're doing today. So use the time. Let's take advantage of it. I'm reading today is 3 weeks since I lost my soul cat, Missy. I feel so numb and lost, but she has given me so many signs. I just miss her so much. That's the other thing with signs. I think they don't substitute for that true feeling of connection. They're wonderful, but often they can be fleeting, right? And we hunger and long for more. And when they pass, that's probably the time we want most to be connected, because we took it for granted, maybe because they were already here. So the question is, not how do I get a sign? The question should be, how do I open to the space where connection naturally unfolds? Susie said, I'm trying to feel a bit distracted. You're trying to feel a bit distracted? You're going to have to clarify that for me, Susie. Debbie says, meditation is helping. Joyce chimes in, I'm present. Good, Roxy. I'm glad you're present. We all need that together to do what we are doing and going forward to do. So I'm going to go through 4 ways. These are not the only 4 ways. This isn't, formula. It's something that you naturally work with, and maybe you haven't put language to it, because it is so natural. And what we've already done is the first one. So the first way that you can connect is, gently and not abruptly, which is what we've done. We've kind of gently walked into the room together, and your animal's going to meet you where your heart is most receptive. So we were kind of priming the pump here as I'm being guided by spirit, because we all have that connection through our heart. And if I said to you, if I told you the first one is a heart glimpse. Heart glimpse, what would that mean to you? Throw it in the chat. What does heart glimpse mean? And don't think about it, feel it as you are deciding or feeling what to share. How often are you in your heart? Or do you just reserve it for certain times of day, and maybe in the morning or maybe in the evening? But what about during the day? Do you have any heart glimpses during the day? And while you're mulling that over, I'm reading Nina's, being appreciative and helpful shows me I'm present. I love that. Being aware of my thoughts and choosing to feel positive and loving versus grief. The grief isn't the connection, the love is. So I love that you pivot and turn toward, it's not like you're pushing away the other, you're acknowledging, and you include it. My dog is perfectly fine now, and I am joyful for him. That's beautiful. I love that. What a tribute. That's a really nice tribute for the beginning of this year, and especially as we talk about connection. So heart glimpse, some of you saying an opening, and Debbie says feeling the love through your heart. What else? What else would a heart glimpse be? Did you have one just a minute ago when you checked in to see if you were present? Yes, perfectly said, Nina. I agree. So heart glimpses, it's not a visualization. It's not your imagination conjuring something up. It's a felt sense. It's an experience. And Susan says, I'm more aware of my heart since my boy cat died. You know, I'm going to be talking about soon. You all are so psychic and tuned in. You keep bringing up things that I keep wanting to share on the next live and the next live or whatever it is. But really, pet loss actually opens the door to our spiritual purpose. You know, we don't think of the gifts in the loss at all. We get so consumed with, you know, the hurting and the pain, and it's easy because it's the loudest voice in the room. It takes it, you know, our system takes a beating, and it's a shock to our system. And so the more we can, I don't know, practice this. I like micro practices. I actually like portable practices. If I'm in the middle of my day and I'm doing something, I try to be aware enough to where I stop and just connect. So even brief little moments where you say to yourself, can I glimpse my heart? Where's my heart glimpse now? And it may be like a warmth in the chest, a sudden calm. It may even be a wave of emotion. Nina says, heart glimpse. My dog is a reflection of my love. He is a mirror of my love for myself. We are shared cells. We are and always will be connected, even more now as we share source energy together. He is all around in pure love. Let's take a moment. That's really beautifully said. My dog is a reflection of my love. He's a mirror of my love for myself. Can you drop into your heart and feel that? All you know, and if we cue ourselves up and give ourselves kind of a, oh, I need to do a heart glimpse right now. Just say the word heart glimpse, and it'll cue your heart and your mind into, okay, let's take a breath together in our hearts, and then you're going to feel that connection. But I promise you, the more you can do this, the more these little mini little practices, you're actually building that opening, and you're creating your own channel so that you know what it feels like, and you're not looking outside of yourself to find it, because it's not ever outside of yourself. It's always within. So Misty says, it happens when the mind relaxes and you're present. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, a good practice is to kind of pay attention to how present you are at any given moment. You know, kind of catch yourself and see, am I present right now, or am I off in memory, or I'm off in the past, or I'm off in the future, or like, where am I in this moment? And you can feel it. There's a tuned in feeling. And so the heart glimpse, even if it's a wave of emotion, you might feel that sense of closeness without imagery. So when you feel your heart more open, it's in its truest state. Yes, agreed. Do you feel that now? And Roxy, for me, it's quite subtle initially. For me, I receive immediate visuals, like without thinking about them. It's like a whisper. That's how subtle it is until I tap in. But sometimes the mind jumps in and the grief takes over and kills the connection. You know, I think it just shoves it out of the way. It won't kill the connection. It can't ever kill the connection. But it might, you know, again, be the loudest energy in the room. And I think the important thing is let it be there. You know, let it barge in. Because if we resist it, then it just takes up camp even stronger. And it's wanting, you know, the grief, because it comes through, is it's moving like a river. And so it's a delicate dance where we don't push it away, but we don't necessarily get lost and pulled in the undertow. And if we do, we allow that to move through, and then we come back up to the surface, and you'll be able to breathe a little bit better. Pat says, is rainbow real or created just to give us a hope for reunion? My dog passed in November. I'm grieving and miss him so much. I'm 70 and I don't think it's smart to open my heart to another companion. First of all, I'm so sorry, because it's fresh grief, right? Not that any grief is, we give these like scores to them, like delayed grief or acute grief, or fresh grief. But I think it's really important for you to honor where you are in the grieving and missing him so much, and realizing that that's part of the journey as we go through that. And to your question, is rainbow real or created just to give us a hope for reunion? I'm not sure I completely understand the question. Like, do you mean if you see a rainbow, or the imagery of a rainbow, or the meaning that you've heard about a rainbow? If you wouldn't mind adding to that a little bit. And then to your, I'm not sure it's smart enough to open my heart. It's okay. It's certainly a choice not to open your heart, but hearts are meant to love. They really are. And it's more painful to stay closed. It takes a lot of work. And I think I just froze. Tell me I'm on air. Somebody tell me, because I just saw myself freeze. So, Pat, as we go through today, maybe some of the things we're going to do will be helpful in that. And Alex wrote, my cat passed on Christmas. I was sad, and I still am, but I know he's around. He was pure light. His passing swept away what doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. Wow. What does is love. I see signs, but I always see signs. That's beautiful. Thank you. You're like, yes, you're okay. So back to the heart glimpses. So let's jump in and let's do a quick mini practice. If you can just close your eyes for a minute, just take a deep breath, and just allow yourself to drop into your heart. It's a safe heart. A lot of love there. I'm feeling you all too. And I'm feeling your animals coming, rushing in. Ooh, that's a powerful energy. What does it feel like to you? Is it tender? Is it warmth? Is your heart smiling? Just take a moment and experience it. It's a powerful energy. That's all you got to do. That's easy, right? You don't have to make things difficult. It's not complicated. It is one of the easiest and most beautiful things you can do for yourself and for your animal. And by the way, as you do that for yourself, you're sending that out to everybody. You're affecting everything and everybody and everything around you. Susan says safety and smiling. I love heart smiles. Oh, so to clarify, Pat says, do we reunite with our pets after we die? Thank you. You have helped me as I try to move forward. We do it a little bit at a time. It's moving forward piece, and we shouldn't rush it. And absolutely, the answer is yes. 100% you do. And they are actually still with us now, or they're here now. When you all just did that heart glimpse, I don't know if you could feel it, but oh my goodness, you didn't create that. You activated it. And your animals are meeting you right there in the space that we just created together. So it's that easy. Christine says, Turbo leaves me hearts all the time. I carry the first one he sent to me all the time. That's beautiful, Susie. I see my wasabi here and movement in my home when relaxing. So see, they're there, and we don't have to force it. We just can't demand it. Aw, Deanna says tender and warm sadness, but not a bad sadness. Joyful sadness in all the animals coming through. Yeah, the animals are strong today. And so the second way you can do it, and maybe some of you have already touched into this, and they kind of build on each other too, is through memory. Memory is a bridge. Memory is a living energy that carries feeling. And a lot of times, I don't know, we feel like our memories torture us and it's difficult. But the true memories, the ones that not the reliving the end, not replaying the loss, but remembering a loving moment. So if I were to ask you again, mini practice, this is portable. What memory drops in for you right now? Don't analyze it. Just open up and see if there's just, maybe it's a memory at the park, maybe it's somewhere. See if anything drops in and put it in the chat so we can keep building on that, because what we're doing again is we're calling forth those memories, whether it's just how they felt or the sound of their paws or the routines that you shared. I see the cats and horses I helped in the shelter, knowing that they are grateful for the love I gave them. Beautiful. That's a true energy. Oh, Nina, that felt great. And I could see my dog rushing in, wanting to be first and greet you. It really, that was a powerful little exercise we did together. And I could feel this tender, it's just enormous. It is a rush in. Kathy says, sitting outside with her. Beautiful. Keep coming. Bring them up. Grab those memories. Throw them up in the chats. Memory at the animal shelter cat room. Beautiful, beautiful. What else? Tell me. Dewey sleeping on the bed next to me, actually taking up all the bedding covers. That just makes me smile, because we're bringing memories forth, not as an ache, not as the loss, but with warmth. And it's one of Spirit's favorite doorways. Jay running around me, meowing when he sees the tub of ice cream. I love this. So see, as we share, you're creating that bridge. It's an easy door to go through. Our memories are living energy. So when we drop in, we're literally in the space of that. He used to steal my slipper to get a treat. It's too funny. And Debbie says, I made a jar of memories with my cat Chico, who passed in August. I sit down and read them when I want to connect with him. What a great idea. What a wonderful idea. Okay, so you'll have to help me out here. So you've got this jar. Did you write the memories on strips of paper and then put it in the jar and then you take it out? Tell us, because that is a great idea. And I think some of us could really use different ways to access our babies. And the more you get playful with it and the more it's something fun, especially creative, the more we connect with them. Victoria, kissing my boy and saying, I love you, my beautiful boy. Hold that thought, because one of the next ways that we're going to talk about, and I've got two more to tell you about, is that relationship piece, because that memory of kissing and saying, I love you is a current, real time energy. So thank you for sharing that. And let's see, I used to, pumpkin pie, I used to look at my cat and I would start crying because I loved him so much. Oh, I get that one. And because he was so beautiful. He would look at me with such compassion and oops, there she goes again. If you feel drawn to do that, and remember that, I think that's a transformative kind of memory where he's working with you right now that help transform any kind of pain that might come up, or things that might drop in that might be disturbing. They're giving us different ways. So thank you for sharing that. Pat said, I created a scrapbook, cards, pictures. All right, I like that. what else have you all done? This is like super organic. What have you done to help keep that connection alive? Um, Anna Dean, good to see you, and come back soon and watch the replay. We love you too. So, what else have you done before I get to Sophie? Was so excited and jumping and running in circles in the morning. Can you picture that? Because I literally saw it as you described it. Again, instant segue to spirit, instant. You're connecting with them, and you're all animal communicators in what we're doing here. Communication isn't about words, it's about communion. We're soul communicating with each other. So I have a guest that I'd love to bring on, and she's going to help us through the next way that I think is a really easy, I call it intentional seeing. So Sarah, please join us. We've been having a little tech issues, so hopefully we're up and running. There you are.
I made it. I'm on my phone now, but I made it.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. It's good to see you. Everybody, this is Sarah.
Thank you. And big shout out to Alex. She's been scrambling and got me on, so I appreciate her and what she does so much. So thank you, Alex.
Absolutely. It's, it's always divine timing, so it's always perfect timing, especially as you had reached out about your soul dog Orvis. Yeah. And if you don't mind, could I read some of your email so that I can give people context? So everybody, just let's get to know Orvis. So Sarah wrote, and she said, I lost my sweet soul dog Orvis in April. Orvis was sent to me by my dad after he passed on 12/21, the longest night. He helped me so much with my grief, and he was such a special soul that he helped many others. He became a therapy dog at the age of 3. Together, we helped heal others and bring joy. But through that work, I began to heal. On New Year's Day, 2025, while watching the sunrise, I had a premonition or a knowing that I'd lose both my dog and my mom this year. A few weeks later, we found a tumor on Orvis's spleen. And after a successful, how do you pronounce that? Splenectomy?
Splenectomy. Yeah.
He was diagnosed with aggressive cancer. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one. We had 2 beautiful months with him, enjoying every moment, then had to help him cross the Rainbow Bridge when the cancer returned. I was shattered. I thought he would help me with the grief I would feel when my mom died, and little did I know how much he would help me from spirit. That's beautiful. Through him, I've become connected. Oh, God, you make me cry. Hang on. That spirit is like, through him, I've become connected to so many mediums and animal communicators, including you. They guide us. They totally open up our spiritual path. And that's not the way we often think about loss in general. It's truly an opening to our spiritual path and journey. And when my mom passed just a couple of weeks ago, I was more ready than I thought to begin yet another journey. So this is beautiful. And what depth of relationship you have with Orvis. So tell us a little bit more from what you shared here.
Well, so when my dad was dying, he had Alzheimer's. So it was a long journey for those of you that have been through that. Wouldn't wish it on anyone. We hadn't had a pet for a long time, but I had told my husband, after my dad dies, I really want a dog. And he was set on a lab. I'd only had small dogs, but I said, sure. But I just had it in my head. I wanted a chocolate lab. And I had the name picked out. Orvis is a fly fishing company, and we like to fly fish. And I just had it picked out, and it was going to be a chocolate lab. He wasn't so sure, but we hadn't really looked into anything yet. And then 2 days after my dad's funeral, which was 12/21, which is the longest night when people grieve, right? I was on Facebook, and a dear friend of mine, we were in Colorado. We live in California, but we were in Colorado back home. A friend of mine from high school had posted, the puppies are here. And I'm thinking, oh, wonder what kind of puppies. And sure enough, they were chocolate labs. And I literally just looked up and said, thanks, Dad. I just knew. I knew that my dad had sent him to me. Mm-hmm. And when we got him, I didn't realize then, but it was 2/22, February 22nd, which there's a lot of numerology in our stories. But he just was one of those dogs that he went to work with my husband. Everybody would come visit. And it was more than just, I want to see the puppy. It was like, he just was so soulful, and people would comment about how he just made them feel so good. And everywhere we took him everywhere. He just made an extra mark on people. It was more than just, oh, let me pet your dog. It was like, oh my gosh, that your dog made me feel so good. Or people would say with their dogs, well, my dog doesn't really like dogs, but sure enough, they'd be sitting there with Orvis like no problem, because he just was so calming and had that effect on people. So when he was 3, I decided to get him trained as a therapy dog, because we were kind of already doing the therapy stuff anyway. And he was certainly doing it for me. So then he became a therapy dog, and we had all kinds of great healing adventures. But through that, it helped heal me as well. But we went to, I was an elementary school principal, so I took him to my school. The kids loved him. My husband worked at a university. He was there. We took him to hospitals and nursing homes and read to the dog. I think I have some pictures of that where the kids read to the therapy dogs. It just was a journey in helping other people, but through that, it just helped me so much.
That's beautiful. Alex, could we put up the photos? I'm going to do this a couple of times. I just want everybody to meet Orvis if we could. So everybody take a look at Orvis.
I had to limit it to 4, which is hard because I have about 30,000 on my phone. But.
How did you end up picking these, though? I mean, that's interesting to me. How do you have 30,000? How did these cut?
So the first one on the left of me kissing him, because my dad had Alzheimer's, we did Alzheimer's walks, and I still do. The first one we did when I moved to California and had Orvis was with his therapy dog group. So we're wearing our purple. So that was just after one of the many walks we did. And I just love the way he's kind of looking happy. We did a lot of selfies. He was very patient with me for that. The next one on top with the butterfly, my dad would send me butterflies. He still does. And I'd be walking with Orvis. It was always when I was with Orvis, and I'd be crying about my dad. And suddenly there's a butterfly at my feet. And this was probably the 3rd time that happened. And I actually put my finger out, and the butterfly landed on my finger. And Orvis, the way he was looking at it, I just felt like he and my dad were connected the whole time. So I love that. Yeah. The one below that is at the library. It was the first time we did the read to the dogs. And the kids just sit and read to dogs. They have nobody judging them. So it's just a great way for kids to do that. And they just pet him. And I have another one. He's just looking at the pictures, but he loved that. That was just a happy time for him. And then the last one, we spent a lot of time in the pool. Being a lab, he's a water dog. And this is the one I have on my lock screen on my phone, because I'd be in the pool and he just wanted to play tug of war and be playing with that Kong stick and just in the pool and throw it and chase it. And that just the way he looks at me there, even though he was gray very early, he just looks like such a puppy and so youthful. So that's why I picked those pictures.
They're great photos, and everybody's really, really enjoying them. Because, when we see photos, and that's another way, a really gentle, easy way to connect with pets is through their photos, and people too. I mean, photos are blueprints of the soul. Right. And so with people, I know all of you can probably relate to this, is you can see the photo of someone and then you meet them in person and you get a different kind of energy. Because when people especially take photos, we may be like smiling like that on purpose, but when we meet in person, a whole different side of us shows up. So actually in photos, you can rather look at the photos, look into the photo to see what the photo is actually revealing. And it's amazing. That's a really good way to practice animal communication. It's something that it speaks directly to the heart, I think. And so when you said he helped you heal, how? Like, in what ways did he help you heal?
So at first it was just, I lost my dad during Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I was still, working in school. The summer is when it really hit me, and I was home with nothing to do, and I'd be out. He loved to lay outside. So that's one way, just getting me outside. You always feel better when you're outside, but I'd be out there, hear a song on the radio, think about my dad, and I'd literally just be sobbing into his fur, and that's when a butterfly would come right in front of my face or something. But he just was there for me as just that comfort physically. But then later, as we became the therapy dog team, because you are a team, I've always been an introvert, and I guess I'm an extroverted introvert is what my sister says. I think she's on today, by the way. Hi, sis. And I have a job where I need to be extroverted, but by the time you come home, it's just like, it's all the energy you can take, and you just want to be with your dog, right, rather than people. But it forced me to kind of come out of my shell as we're helping people. But I always thought I can only do this with my dog. Well, since he's been gone, I feel like I can still talk to strangers more easily, or, start a conversation, or feel if somebody's hurting. I feel like I've gotten a little bit more sensitive because he was so sensitive. It made me more aware. So I've grown in that way as a person. And then, he's helped me since he's passed, helped me so much more than I could even imagine. I think I mentioned in the thing that you read, I thought for sure when I knew I was going to lose them both this year, my mom and my dog, or this last year, I thought, okay, well, my mom's going to die first, because certainly he's got to be there to help me after she dies, like he did with my dad. When my dog died in April, I couldn't believe it. I thought, why did Orvis go? How's he going to help me now? But literally, the signs I got from him and the communication I've started to get almost immediately, and then he's connected me to all these different people, including you. And every time I get another connection, I see a podcast, I listen to this, I hear about this person, animal communication, it's just helped me grow so much more and understand death. One of the first things I saw in the summer, the poet Andrea Gibson passed away. And the quote that I saw, I don't have the whole thing, but it said, "I'm more with you now than I was before." And the one that got me is when it said, you look past me even when wondering where I am.
Wow.
And I had always thought, you hear the veil is right here. It's not, they're not up here somewhere or away at the Rainbow Bridge. It's right here in front of you.
Yes.
And when I read that, I thought, yes, that's it. He's here. He is right here. And that kind of opened things up to me. And then just through researching Andrea Gibson and all these different things, you get down these rabbit holes and everything's connected. And I learned about a way that when you're kind of half sleeping, you can just open your mind and kind of hear what you hear. And I literally heard Hendrix. And I was like, what is that? And the problem is I would go back to sleep and wake up the next morning and think, what was that? So I purposely remembered Hendrix, and I was thinking Jimi Hendrix. Okay, whatever. So I Googled Hendrix and I got all this Jimi Hendrix stuff and thought, this has nothing to do with anything. But there you were. When I kept scrolling and it's like animal communicator, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. So all those little things are not coincidences. They happen for a reason. The signs I get from him just connect me to one more thing. And I've had readings with mediums since he's passed, validating all of that my dad was there when he crossed. I knew it. I had asked him to be, but I knew he was, and I knew that they knew each other long before, So.
That's so beautiful, because it's such a powerful story. It's almost a energetic, group, a soul team that you've got going on. And that only gets more enhanced after the passing, because it's an even higher frequency. And for all the signs that you've gotten, do you feel like, if you could tell people one, because I'm watching as some of you comment saying, well, I don't get signs, or I haven't, been able to feel my pet. What one thing do you feel like you have or had that allowed that? Was it the gratitude? What was it?
I think it all comes from gratitude, because I know I've read over and over, excuse me, that gratitude is the highest frequency. Excuse me for a second. And that when you're in gratitude, that's when you can really connect with your guides, right? Your team spirit, or whatever you want to call them. And so I just try to always start with gratitude. And I was out walking one morning. I had meditation music on, which was another thing I heard about because I can't quiet my mind. And I was walking the path I would walk with my dog, and our neighbor used to leave a treat out for him, and I brought a treat for her dog. And of course I'm crying and thinking, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And I thought, okay, gratitude. And I'm telling my guides, please just remind me of the gratitude I feel for his life and the connections we've made. And for whatever reason, I was kind of drawn to sit at this bench in the sun. And I sat down, and sometimes I'll scroll through my pictures and close my eyes and then just stop at one point and hope that that's going to be, I'll ask for, let this be a sign. And I did that for whatever reason. And the picture that I put my finger on was a picture of me with Orvis, another selfie, but I'm wearing the sweatshirt with a dog's picture, a dog's face, and it says grateful. And I had just asked for, please show me the gratitude so I can get back to this, because I wasn't getting any signs because I was so upset and tearful and sad.
Exactly.
And immediately I just went, oh, like, okay. Wow. I mean, sometimes I'll say out loud, now you guys are just showing off. Like, it's so blatant when it comes, but I couldn't believe that. That was a picture out of 35,000 pictures that showed
I love
up.
that. That's another tool that you just gave us all, is this, scrolling, and then, because that's kind of a playful energy. To just stop and see what's there. That's beautiful. I love that. So, some of you might want to do that, is scroll and then just randomly stop. So, when we talk about the photos, did we have a couple of other photos? Did we have more than these 4? Alex, did you have some single ones to show? Here we go.
Yeah.
So everybody, let's take a look at this photo. Let's use this photo, for instance, which is the great butterfly. I was going to ask you, tell me you got a photo of that. You did. Yep. So you all are, Carol says, death is not the end, Sarah. Absolutely right.
Thank you.
So what all do you feel from this photo? Put on your intuitive hats and just whatever drops in. Laura says, it's amazing how they send such beautiful signs. Yes, and for us to be appreciative of whatever the signs are, right? So what do you all feel from this particular photo? What do you think is coming through? Any words drop in? Put them in the chat. Is it in the eyes? Is it in the look? Is it the butterfly? What vibe do you get from this photo? Because you're all animal communicators. So now's your chance to get a little mini practice in. And then let me flip while you're putting those in. Isn't there another photo, I think? One more? Yeah. Oh, Orvis is, okay, communicating with the butterfly. Yes. Peace and appreciation came through for Mary. Yes. It's like they know each other and are having a conversation. Yes. Doggy and butterfly are talking. Totally. I've seen butterflies follow me, and first thought is my mom being present. Yes, don't toss these. Even though a lot of butterflies, I've had people say, well, there are butterflies everywhere, Tami. And I'm like, but not the ones specifically trying to get your attention. Like, don't argue with it. It's like Orvis is saying, hi, Grandpa.
Yes.
Connection to all life, Jim says. Beautiful. Orvis says, I see you. To be seen is one of the greatest gifts we can give another, to truly be seen. And animals truly see us. They teach us how to see others. Timeless. Wow, you all are just amazing in what you're picking up. Susie said the dog has excellent connections with supernatural signs. Yep. Sarah's dad is present. There's a connection, 100%. My JJ boy loves watching butterflies. Start paying real attention to when they show up too, because what time of day, what are you doing, what state of mind are you in, where's your heart? Try connection. And Roxy, immediate recognition of the familiar energy. That's beautiful. Let's do another photo. This is fun. And then I'll get to the fourth one eventually. All right. We've seen this one, but we're looking at it a little differently now. What all do you pick up? What vibe is there? What feelings do you pick up? Just let it come. Don't try to think it through. Let the photo communicate with you. And tell me what you see. Throw it in the chat. Oh, on the other one, Kathy says, "Hi, Dad." I love this pic. Yes. Why do you love it? Because whatever you're resonating with, take it a little further with the communication. Glimpse equals a spark, a quick aha that comes when I'm centered, open, and grateful. Beautiful. Orvis is so happy, utter joy. Oh, y'all are putting so many up. I love it. Long walk, lots of energy are going on around the walk. They feel joined, right? And there's a oneness in this photo, a oneness. Dog is saying, I feel so loved by my owner. She's my person. Purpose. Yeah. Oh, we do good, Mama. Yes. I want you all to practice on photos, really. You're so good at it. Victoria, great love and soul connection. You know, you can actually see and feel soul connections. Oh, he looks ancient, otherworldly. There's a wisdom. There's a wiseness here, an old soul wisdom from him. Pure love between each other in this moment. You know, pure love in any moment is priceless, isn't it? Don't ever trade that off. You recognize it always. Pumpkin pie forever. You giving him the same loved feeling that he gave you, that you gave out to everybody, that you shared. He wasn't stingy with love, you know, and had the both of you are, what I'm hearing, are walking hearts. We're walking hearts together, and people could feel that. Color purple, both are wearing, signifies spirituality and wisdom. Interesting catch. Yeah, totally. Was that deliberate on your part to match, be twinning?
That was the Alzheimer's walk. So we had our Alzheimer's gear and the color was purple, but it's also my very favorite color. So I wear it a lot.
Excellent. I love that. Orvis is saying, best life ever. Love you, Mom. And, you know, he's saying that through you all today. So, you know, as they're these things up, he literally is running this show here. Like he is totally.
I believe it. It's all coming from him. Yeah.
Because it's all about healing. It's all about healing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to mention the fourth way that we can put the, Alex, if you don't mind putting the 4 photos up again, then we can look at all of them together. So the fourth way to connect is through your relationship with them, your new relationship with them, the ongoing relationship with them, your dialogue that continues. You know, do you talk to him like out loud? What do you do to continue this relationship?
Yeah, it's funny when he first passed, they talk about how, the house is so quiet and my husband is still working. I'm retired. So I'd come home and just be like, okay, I'm not sad. No, it's like horrible. And pretty soon I thought, I talk to him all the time. Why would I stop now? Because it would just be quiet. So now I do. I talk to him just like I normally would. It's like, oh, I'm getting an apple out. I bet you're right here, because he loved apples, or we're doing the laundry. And he, I can just feel him following me around the house like he used to. But I still talk to him. I still make up those silly songs that, I'm sure hopefully some of you do that. And at first I thought, okay, am I crazy? But I thought, no, it keeps him with me, and it doesn't have to be a quiet house. You can still have that communication and that joy of feeling that they're there, because they are. They're with you.
Absolutely. That's one of the main things that I remind people is don't drop the connection. Keep talking, keep including them, keep sharing your day, and ask for their input. And as you were talking about the apple, what I saw and heard kind of was this: he was giving you the idea to get the apple so you would connect to that memory.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
more we can continue in the relationship that we had with them, because we still have it, the more you open yourself up to real like drop-ins and things that you open yourself up to dreams, because the relationship doesn't end.
Yeah.
What we're doing is just literally clearing the pathways of any things that are maybe in the way or blocking. And these little mini practices are doing that. They help us just kind of clear it up for the moment, and then it makes us feel more open, and then we're more receptive. And so how many of you talk? Susan said she talks to Jay all the time. Excellent. How many of you talk to your pet in spirit, or human in spirit? How many of you do that? How many of you include them? Tell them where you're going, or thank them. Anything that pops into mind, do you hold it in or do you share it? And if you share it, do you share it out loud? Or so I love the singing songs. I love that, because that singing is a really, that's a quick way to spirit. It's a segue right in. It raises your vibration. It takes the mind out of the equation, kind of the guard at the gate. And it puts you in more of especially if they're silly songs, more of a childlike, joyful state. I have done that too. And if they're here, they love to be read to at any time. And they, as you know, and they love to be sung to. Susie says, I talk to many of my other cats I've lost, and Marshmallow that is with me now. Good. Because you know what? They understand. They hear you, and they totally get it. When they're here, they know exactly what you're talking about. People say, oh, they don't understand. Trust me, they do. Trust me, they do, because I've had them repeat back an answer to me that I was like saying. I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know you understood. Curious says, out loud all the time. Good, excellent. I sing and I talk. I love that. We need to do a singing show or something like that, singing live stream to raise the frequency every day for the last 2 years. They don't drop the connection with us. We tend to be the ones that put that down. It's like we hang up, give them a busy signal. Like they're trying to get through, and they get a busy signal, and we're that busy signal. I talk to my fur baby in spirit all the time. I know she loves hearing my voice. Your voice carries energy. Your voice is a very powerful vehicle for speaking spirit. I hear. So please continue doing that. I love talking to my boy out loud. Sometimes I even record our conversations to remember them. What a great idea. That's actually a really great idea. It's another tool to use. And also telling them stories. Have you shared, I know animals love to hear, especially, tell me how I came. Tell me one more time. What did you do what did I do that you loved the most? So if you had one kind of special story to share, especially to honor Orvis, what would it be?
Well, this is a little different, but I wanted to be able to share this. So this was the day that we had the home euthanasia people coming. We knew they were coming at noon. He was getting more and more tired. We think his tumor was bleeding, so he was just getting slowly tired, but he was still very alert. My husband went to Wendy's to bring him back a cheeseburger, because as a lab, he was still eating, which made us feel good. So I was talking to him and just telling him all of the wonderful things he was going to see at the Rainbow Bridge. And I was using all the names of the things he knew, like they're going to be baseballs, and you can go to the beach, and your friends Miley and Brando will be there. All the words he knows, and treats, and and he's listening, and his ears would perk up every time I'd say a word he really knew. So he was really listening. Well, my husband called at that moment to let me know he was on his way, and I had him on speakerphone, as I always do, and Orvis could hear his voice. We talked for maybe 2 minutes, and I was right there on the floor with him. When we hung up, he had laid down all the way and was dreaming. And I thought, as uncomfortable as he is, that's amazing. He could be dreaming. But I thought, how did that happen so fast? And I just had this feeling he's dreaming about the Rainbow Bridge that I just told him about, you
Oh,
know? And I said, are you there? Are you at the Rainbow Bridge? And I said, is Grandpa John with you, my dad? And he let out that little bark, you know, when they bark when they're dreaming, that almost like stifled. And I just went, oh my gosh. I said, is Grandpa John there? Bark. I said, is he throwing you baseballs? Bark. Are Miley and Brando there? I mean, it was the most amazing thing in the world. Every time I asked him a question, I got that little stifle bark. And he literally had been awake 5 minutes earlier in pain, uncomfortable, the fact that he could even sleep, much less dream. And he came out of it a few minutes later, but I swear he was there. And I had asked my dad, please be there to cross him over. So I talk about that with him all the time. I'm
wow.
so glad that you got to be there. You know, I almost feel like maybe his soul actually left at that time, you know, just because my dad had already taken him over. But that was just, to me, such an incredible story. And that helped me talk to my mom about death because she was very afraid. And that's the first inkling I had that he's going to help me with my mom's passing,
Wow.
even before she died. So that, and I talk about that with a lot of people, but I tell him that. I'm so glad you did that. And thank you so much. And I hope it's everything you felt it was. So,
You know, and I love that you shared that. He guided me to actually ask you about
yeah,
that special memory, which is why I
mm,
did.
that's
But
it.
you know, everybody, me included, got all over goosebumps, and it was such a spiritual moment that, you know, spirit was and always is right here with us, and
Mhm.
it was such a beautiful opening that we all have really hearing your story helps everybody heal.
I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, and Roxy said, I needed to hear that last story more than anyone will ever know. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, thank you for being here and for reaching out. And thank Orvis, and we all thank Orvis for helping us all gather together and create this amazing time and energy that will carry us all forward going forward. And you know, he's such a healer and will continue
Mhm.
to heal always, always. So
Yeah.
thank you
Well,
everybody for being here. And
thank
I
you.
think the next time we'll join together, it gets even stronger each time. So please join me. I think it's January 21st. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week and take your heart everywhere you go. Take your babies with you. All right. I'll
Thank
see
you.
you next time. Thank you, everybody.